Zangief wants to be up close and personal as often as possible so he can give his opponent a hug with his screw pile driver and lop off massive amounts of life from a single attack. Zangief no longer gets as much Okazemi pressure that he had in the prior game after a screw pile driver, but he can offset this by doing a raw drive rush in neutral to gain ground very quickly and set up his offense once again. The light version of Gief's SPD has the most range, while the medium and heavy versions hit harder. The overdrive version has the same range as a medium SPD, but does the most damage of all the options. Setting up and landing Gief's SPD is the absolute backbone of this character. However, it's not always about landing his SPD, but using the threat of it to keep the opponent off balance and not know what's coming next. Command grabs are mostly 5 frames in Street Fighter 6, so they lose out to jabs unless you set them up with a plus on block normal like his headbutt or another equivalent attack. You'll have to use Zangief's Russian suplex instead of his SPD up close when you want to switch sides with your opponent, which is very helpful for getting out of the corner. Grapplers in the Street Fighter universe tend to have to play with a lot of patience, and when an opening presents itself, be ready to capitalize. While you may find modest success while holding forward and just trying to unleash an offensive barrage, many skilled players will beat you back time and time again, resulting in very little life drained from the opponent and quite a bit taken away from Zangief. Resources are also very important for Gief, as without drive gauge, he can struggle to close in on the opposition, so it's important that you're thoughtful and calculated with this fighter. Zangief's double lariat is back as one of his go-to anti-air options, and it also has projectile invincibility to help navigate around his opposition zoning minefields. Gief lacks much in the way of combos, and his normals are usually slow and have clear weaknesses, but also define purposes for helping him to get in. Mastery of Gief's normals is extremely crucial at high levels of play. Zangief's headbutt is also a very important attack which leaves him plus on hit or block, and allows him to keep his offense going once he closes ground. Use this to stay in and try to get a good read on your opponent before going for an SPD. If you're struggling with which combos and tactics to use for this character, I highly recommend going to CFN and finding players around your level, maybe a spot or two above you, and looking at their match footage and seeing what combos and tactics they're using. Because if you look at players that are too high level, too far above your grade, you might not understand everything that's going on in the matchup. But if you find a player that's just a few steps above you, you can often learn quite a bit of information from that match footage.
For a ride! Take the Score point for a ride! Take the This is your last ride! Let's go! Your regret has stopped! Time to get serious! Are you serious? Time to get serious! This is your last ride! Let's go! Your regret has stopped! Yeah!